Our next two guests are stars of the global phenomenon Downton Abbey. They have come all the way from across the pond to chat with us about reprising their roles and continuing the legacy of Downton in the highly anticipated film A New Era. Take a look.
Hello, Mr. Mosely. Why are you here?
You know I love anything to do with films.
Well, I know you enjoy a trip to the pictures.
It's more than that. For me, Hollywood is the ultimate dream factory. And I need dreams as much as the next man.
We are thrilled to welcome here with us today Kevin Doyle and Raquel Cassidy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you both.
Yeah, it's lovely to be here. Thanks.
I am especially excited. I've been a fan of the series, like countless others, for a very long time. Kevin, can you set up what Downton Abbey, A New Era is sort of about?
What's it about?
Or what fans can expect?
Well, without any spoilers.
Yes.
They can expect a wedding.
Hollywood invades Downton Abbey. That's part of the story.
Yeah.
And another part of the story is the fact that, for some reason or other, the Dowager Countess has inherited a villa in the south of France. And so part of the family want to get to understand why that has happened.
There's a mystery there.
Yeah.
That needs to be
From the Dowager's past.
investigated.
It's luscious, it's gorgeous, it's charming. And I have to say that that's sort of indicative of the entire franchise. It really has captured the hearts of people for so long. Raquel, what do you think it is that's like the magic of Downton that has captivated people's hearts and imaginations?
Well, there are so many ways to answer that, I think, that question. I think the characters are characters that we've seen grow up, you know, so for the audience members, they've seen Daisy as a young ingenue, they've seen Lady Mary as a spoilt brat, you know, and they see, and all the other characters as well, they see them grow up or grow older, and with that, you know, it's almost like they're their children growing up or their parents getting older. And so I do think because there's such a sense of family, both, you know, on each level and between the levels, I think that we live it through them, and it's sumptuous and gorgeous to look at as well. But I do think that, you know, as audience, we can live it through them. And I can say that because I didn't manage to get my way in there until halfway through Series 4. So that's how I was experiencing it anyway.
That's really interesting because you say the audience gets to see you grow and develop as a family. But what's it like for you cast members? This is the second film. Is it like one big family?
Yeah, I mean, it can sound like a cliche, but it really is. Because we've been together for 12 years.
Yeah.
And that's kind of unprecedented in British television, really, for actors to sort of inhabit these characters for so long. And then to share the extraordinary global success that it had. Yeah. To sort of experience that together meant that we were kind of thrown together in a way that we weren't really prepared for. You know, when you consider that somebody like Laura Carmichael, who plays Lady Edith, that was her very first job.
Wow.
Incredible.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So, you know, imagine that's your introduction to an acting career.
Yeah. Fans are particularly invested in the two of your characters and your relationship, Mosely and Miss Baxter. So, Kevin, can you give a bit of a tease as to how your relationship grows in the film?
No. I've described this a lot. This relationship is, it's glacial in its progress. And there's a reason for that, you know, because they're two characters who are very careful and sensitive of one another's feelings, and but also it's a time when people had to do things the proper way, and also there was no time downstairs to have a private life, to establish a relationship, and so. Our relationship has been one of sort of snatched moments, you know, when you're not sort of busy doing other things. And so, but progress is made.
It builds a delicious tension.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
It really
And so,
does.
if there is a payoff, when there's a payoff, it's all the more joyful, I think.
Yeah.
Kevin, you mentioned, to sort of summarize the movie, it's Hollywood comes to Downton, and it is one of the main plots, and a director wants to see his latest silent film come to life. So it's kind of like a film happening within a film.
Yeah.
But what I really took away the idea is sort of Downton, as we've seen through the series and the movies, Downton had to adapt in order to survive in the same way that films have had to do it. And not to give too much away about the movie, but so too did films. So do you think we will see Downton continuing to adapt, I guess, through continual movies? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the story that Julian has wanted to tell all the time. It's about sort of changing as society changes. And we've seen that since the beginning of the show, really. You've seen the progress of women's roles in society change so much over the 12-year span of the show.
Yeah.
And you've seen people emerge from predetermined lives, especially those downstairs. They were expected to live a certain kind of life, and that was going to be it for the rest of their lives, as their fathers and grandparents and what have you would have had. But they, as a result of perhaps of the war, the First World War, their ambitions have broadened, and they want to, and so that's something that Julian has wanted to explore. And so certainly, the baton has already been passed on to Lady Mary.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that will carry on.
Raquel, we talked about off the top about the gorgeous sort of scenery, and this in the movie, the family makes a plan to go to visit this villa in the south of France. So what was your reaction when you found out that you were going to be shooting on location? Like, what was the experience of shooting there like?
Oh my God, it was so
Well, I mean, the reaction was, first of all, we didn't know we could go because we were still steeped in COVID, and we weren't sure that France would open up or have us, or that we would be able to cross the border with our own, protocols. So we were planning, well, not ourselves, but this juggernaut behind the scenes was planning 2 different locations, and it's hard enough to plan a whole unit move to one location, but they were doing 2 in tandem. We had no idea whether we would, right until the last minute, whether we'd go to Scotland to pretend it was France, or to France to be in France. Knowing that I was part of the cast that was going to France, having been released from lockdown was amazing.
Yeah.
And then that location is unspeakably beautiful. I'm sure they do things to make it look even better, but that's what I saw. You're literally these grounds.
I gasped.
It's so
stunning.
Down to this private beach, down this incredible sort of set of stairs that just goes on, and it's so sumptuous. It's very beautiful.
It certainly inspires a lot of travel, for sure. Of course, we have to talk about the Crowley matriarch of the family, the Dowager Countess, played by, of course, the amazing Dame Maggie Smith. She's so funny, eternally, and the quick one-liners. I mean, I'm just curious, what has it been like working with her over the years, and does she come up with those one-liners herself? Anyone can grab this.
She's a nightmare. An absolute, don't believe all the stories about her. She's an absolute nightmare. No, she's gorgeous. She's as funny as she is on screen. And she... I remember the first time I walked into a room and she was there, and it was just kind of, your breath stops. It's sort of, and I wasn't expecting that at all, but that's what happens when you're in the presence of greatness sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, without giving too much away, obviously this film really teases a kind of backstory, and a lot of us, particularly around her character. I'm just curious if you can imagine ever there being like a prequel in the future for Downton Abbey.
Well, I hadn't really thought about it, but it would. I mean, there's already so much of it is written, isn't it? Really, and her life was very eventful, it would seem, and she got into easily as many scrapes as Lady Mary did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or does.
Yes.
I'd be here for this.
I would so be here for this prequel.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I don't think anyone wants to see her go, to be honest. So, easily. Easily. Depends what Julian wants to write, really.
Yeah, it's in his hands.
look
Very
forward to
capable
it.
hands. Listen, thank you both so much for coming across an ocean to come and sit with us and be with you today. Now, everyone, be sure to see Downton Abbey, A New Era, when it opens in theaters this Friday. It's truly, truly enjoyable. We'll be right back.